Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researcher Celebrity. Today we have Dr. Anil Sharma with us. Dr. Sharma has done his PhD from National Institute of Malaria Research and then he moved to International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, New Delhi, where he did research in different areas of life sciences. And then finally he moved to be an entrepreneur. And now we all call him an entrepreneur from a PhD. So thank you very much, sir. And we welcome you on behalf of Empowering Science Foundation in our web series Researcher Celebrity. So to start this, let's talk about you thinking of pursuing research as a career. To you, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Raja, for inviting me to this platform. And regarding your question, it all started during my MSc. I did my MSc in biochemistry. So for the partial fulfillment of the degree, I did my dissertation, and that time I worked with plants, effect of different growth regulators on the plant biology. So that was just a training. I could not publish even a single paper out of that, but that was an introduction to the research. And I developed the craze of doing research. Then only I decided I'll go for research career.
Okay. So was that a love at first sight that we can say, that you just saw like you got introduced to research and you were like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
I beg to differ a little. Actually, when you say love at first sight, I would say that my first love is mosquitoes.
Oh, nice.
when I enrolled for my PhD in National Institute of Malaria Research, so I was introduced to mosquitoes, and then I read about them. I was fascinated by their biology. Most of people would think I am an idiot, but what am I talking about? But now, if you see from my eyes, so mosquitoes are very beautiful, a beautiful lady. That is very dangerous as well. So I started my work with Anopheles mosquitoes and their interaction with the malaria parasite. I did with the rodent malaria parasite and its interaction with the mosquitoes in our lab. We used to rear mosquitoes in our lab, count their eggs, supply them blood meal, and I also took joy feeding my own blood to them. So, if you ask what is my first love, mosquitoes are.
Okay, nice. So, your PhD was more than a decade now, or I believe more than 2 decades. Now, world knows so much about mosquitoes. Everybody knows they spread different diseases, and malaria obviously is on top of chart. So, at that time, when you were doing your PhD with the mosquitoes, how the society, like your friends, your family, used to look at?
When you say my society and friends, they were very surprised. And they used to call me doctor of mosquitoes. So, anyways, that time, molecular biology was not that, common. So, we started our work studying the immunity of the mosquitoes against malaria parasite. So the time when I was doing PhD, the news was oh, the genome has come.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know the genome of the mosquitoes, and everybody was thinking the next day the malaria will vanish.
Mm-hmm.
So we have seen that phase also,
Mm-hmm.
and now you know that now we know the so much about it.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe that so one of the idea behind researcher celebrity is like all of our researcher are our celebrities, and the work you have contributed, you have published papers, so now the world knows about what you have done. And how do you feel about that when you carry your publications with you?
Satisfied.
Yes,
I
and
would
I
say
think,
satisfied.
yeah. So this satisfaction, when comes you are pursuing research, then you move from your PhD to your postdoctoral fellowship in ICGEB, which was a giant leap because coming from a national institute going to international level. What was your experience when you were working in NIMR and then ICGEB?
Important difference was the work culture.
Mm-hmm.
So when you work in a national institute, so National Institute of Malaria Research is an organization of ICMR.
Mm-hmm.
So that deals with the national program for controlling the malaria.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier it was NAMP, National Anti-Malaria Program,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. The programs kept on changing according to the needs of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
But when I joined ICGB,
Mm-hmm.
so there the focus was to understand the biology of the mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in my PhD, I focused on the interaction between the malaria parasite and the mosquitoes.
Okay.
During my postdoctoral work, I switched on to the metagenomics of the mosquitoes. Excuse me. So it opened another level of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So then we move on to the interaction of the gut resident microbes
Mm-hmm.
with the malaria parasite.
Okay.
And then what happened? The research grant,
Mm-hmm.
it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a project from DST,
Mm-hmm.
and I could not get an extension of that.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, because I had no grant support,
Mm-hmm.
altogether stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a setback for me.
Okay.
That time. So, yeah.
So was that the reason that you chose to be an entrepreneur? Was that the force behind it?
No, actually, during development of my career,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that what we were working is most of the pure part of the science, not the applied one.
Okay.
So because the training of most of the PhD students
Mm-hmm.
is about the development of the knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and what is the need of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
I am sitting in India.
Mm-hmm.
So now the focus of the government is make in India.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is we are not trained to develop a product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are trained to generate information, the knowledge.
Okay.
So that time I thought that I should develop a product.
Okay.
I started thinking because I was not well equipped for that.
Okay.
I saw a lot of failures as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now my focus is to develop some product that can be used in the market.
Nice.
So
Right.
for that, I switched on from regular research
Mm-hmm.
and initiated this startup.
Okay. So you well said that whenever anyone sees the failures in research, how Edison saw that was in a different way. He was like, okay, I can tell the world that these are the things which cannot be used. These are the metal which cannot be used for a bulb, for the filament. And that is the beauty of research, that whenever you develop a hypothesis, you set up experiments to prove it. Sometimes it goes the way you want, sometimes it doesn't. And then when it doesn't, that's when it sparks some of the researchers to the next level. As you said, that now you want to do an applied science. Instead of just doing the basic research, fundamental research for understanding, which is very important, but you thought about giving the implementation of it, whatever you are doing, you're generating the information, how the rest of the world can be benefited of it. That was a great idea, and thank you for that. So when you moved from academic research to entrepreneurship, where you have this motto in your head that, okay, you want to develop a product which can, which can be more useful for society immediately, instead of sitting for something and then doing all the experiments which it requires, and then after a couple of years, something might end up in the market. How different was that from, because here when you are an entrepreneur, you are looking for on your like funding opportunities, doing everything by yourself, or you might be outsourcing or collaborating. How different is this? Because we know that many of the researchers want to start their own startups or want to be an entrepreneur. So what if you can share your journey and your transition between these?
I would say it was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Einstein was a great man. So he could see things differently. But we commoners, for us, it's not that romantic idea as it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're working in an institute, national or international, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
so you're supported by government and with various agencies.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are into your own your own setup,
Mm-hmm.
so generating funds is in itself a big challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So in India, government of India have started very many schemes to support the startups.
Mm-hmm.
Now the registration process is very easy.
Mm-hmm.
So you can register your company just by sitting on your computer. You don't even need to visit a CA for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still there are a lot of practical problems in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to purchase, say a small computer,
Mm-hmm.
or simply a mouse of a computer, you
Mm-hmm.
have to spend from your own pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and the pocket in which nothing is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So could I convey myself? So,
Yeah.
so the first challenge was to generate some income.
Mm-hmm.
So we started taking data analysis jobs for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Document editing services
Okay.
for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we overcome this problem. And it was not as easy as I am saying, but
Mm-hmm.
we are through now.
Nice. That's, I think, a very positive note for all of our researchers around the world who want to be an entrepreneur. that it might look easy, but you have to put all of your hard work into it to make it work. Okay, so now coming to the support from family and friends when you are in all these different stages of research, how do you, like, what was your experiences? What were all of those? If you can share.
I think my smile is telling a lot. So, family and all the friends, they are very supportive and in every way, whatever they can. So, if you ask me to give acknowledgement, then it would be 10 pages acknowledgement. So very hard to, say in concise. And I would also like to thank all my teachers.
Absolutely.
So when you are a student, it's very hard to grab the love packaged in their scoldings.
Absolutely.
It's very hard. So when I look back, so my PhD was Dr. T. Adak. So he used to, he used to just say that you have to rewrite all this. Maza nahi aa raha hai. I'm not feeling pleasant reading this. So you rewrite all of this. And I was like, what is this? You tell me what I have to change and all that. So, but that thing, it taught a lot.
Writing a manuscript is a thing, absolutely. Once you know that skill, you have earned it, you are like well established. That can give you a place, a prestigious place in research, that's for sure. And which is
somebody beautifully said, either you publish or you perish.
Absolutely. That is also some of the things. But what I like, my personal feeling about publication and research is sometimes it takes a lot of time, especially when you are doing fundamental research. Even though now technology has been like, every day it changes. Yesterday, somebody have used some technique, and now just because new technique is coming up, so that is rudimentary, and now people are switching to another one. And with this pace, it is tough to, stick to one or ignore the other one. So now what we see, and the public also believe in that whenever you're publishing, it is equally important, but what we are doing is way more important than that. Because when you are performing your experiments, you are dedicated to all sorts of outcomes. When you are accepting it, like, okay, either it be positive or it be negative, and then you are ready to give whatever it takes, that's when a researcher grows. That's when they start publishing. That's when they get the patents and all of these things. The only thing which have been seen, the only thing what research takes is like, okay, you have to show your dedication, your thing that you are, you just surrender yourself, and then research is the ocean which takes you on the waves and you can ride the entire universe. That's what I personally feel. But how do you say that when a person who is looking or seeking for a mentorship from you and come to you, approaches to you for the guidance that they want to pursue a career in research, how do you motivate them?
First, I would like to comment on the publication thing. So, when we say publish or perish, so it emphasizes on the importance of the publication. You're doing something in your lab and you are not publishing. So it's actually going in the bin.
Yes.
So, but if you are publishing just to increase the numbers, so that is another waste of the resources. If you are publishing junk just because you need to increase the number of the papers. So it is another waste. Another thing I want to add is when you say new techniques come and then we have to do that. So advent of new thing is always good. Is always welcome. It equips you to investigate more deeper. But still, we must not leave, we must not forget what we have from our predecessors.
Yes.
The basic research is investigating. It's not about the tools.
Yes.
So now we have CRISPR technology. Okay. Sorry. What I was saying, I forgot. Sorry.
You were talking about CRISPR.
So it's CRISPR, na?
Okay.
So, but we must not forget the basic genetic experiments that were developed by Mendel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They are equally important.
Yes.
So, in many labs, not all, not most of them, but in many labs, the students started thinking technique is research. Technique is only a tool to investigate. Investigation is research.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what was your actual question?
Now I was like, my question was like, when a person comes for your mentorship, because you have mentored already so many students which are there in their respective fields and excelling the world. When now a person comes to you and they ask for your advice that they want to pursue their career in research, how do you motivate them?
Yeah, I would say that if you have the question why, if you have the question how, if you have the question what, if there are 3 ticks, then only you come to research.
Nice. Right.
Don't come to research just because you see it as another career option.
Okay.
Believe me, there are other things that would pay you more than this. With less effort.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nice. So once you say that if they know all the 3 questions, and if they have these 3 questions, they want to be in research, and then after your counseling or motivation, they join the research, and sometimes when it's not working, and then they start complaining, because this is human behavior. We want, whenever we start with all of our all of our energy, and when it just doesn't go through the way we want, then we start complaining, hey, you suggested me this and then it's not working the same way. How do you deal with that?
This we do in everything, no? So you have to be positive, but at the same time, you must be prepared for everything. So whatever comes is a lesson.
Yes.
Negative results are also results. When you think that if my hypothesis is proved, then only the experiment is successful, you are committing a mistake.
Yes, absolutely.
if your hypothesis fails, it also gives you some information.
Yep.
So research is not to satisfy your ego. Research is to tell you what is what.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said, if you have what, why, and how, then only come to research.
Beautiful.
If you want to prove yourself, please don't. Please go somewhere else.
Okay. That was, I think, what I understood from this, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have to be a biggest critic of yourself, not only in experiments, but even before setting up the experiments in your brain. That when you come up with a hypothesis, this is what you want, and you should be ready that, okay, if it doesn't go this way, I should not be biased. I'm open for whatever it comes. And then again, I will, reinstate the statement that this was expected, this is what it came, and now there is something else need to be done to understand that why it is not happening. Am I right?
Yeah, but one more thing I want to add. Hypothesis is valid only if you are imaginative enough to visualize the system in your mind.
Okay.
If there is some flaw in that, if you are not visualizing the whole picture, then the hypothesis is not perfect.
Okay.
So first thing is, spend time in your mental laboratory before actually performing the experiments.
Absolutely.
That would save not only the resources, not only your time, but your moral.
Yes.
And if you can hypothesize, if you can visualize the system in your mind, so the negative results would also be the answers to your question.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they will only bring about frustration.
Okay. Speaking of which, in your entire journey, how you dealt with that frustration, and when now somebody comes, what are your guidance to them?
When I was in that conditions, I behaved like everyone else. And now if someone comes with me with that frustration, I simply smile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's when you can correlate with them, or like there has to be, because when they come to you, they look for an advice.
So if someone comes with me with a problem in the experiment or the results?
Both. Because the results are the reason why they are frustrated, but it comes with the problem in the experiment. Isn't that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
When the results are not satisfying your expectation, it doesn't mean the experiment is faulty.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah.
Okay. And if there is some problem in experiment, so first thing you already have answered. Yeah. First thing is to check step by step whether I have performed the experiment without any mistake. Means you have to go back step by step in your mental laboratory.
Yes.
Kya hua tha, then what, then what, then what. If everything is correct, then again you see that system in your mental image.
Yeah.
and then put the results there. So most of the times you get the answer. If not, so you have to decide another experiments.
Nicely said. So here I want to tell all the researchers who are watching this video that the advice which Dr. Sharma just gave is the key to your success, and you can learn and rethink and learn and rethink, dissect your thoughts, dissect your experiments, and then just don't do research with binded with a pole. Keep yourself open for all your results, because what Dr. Sharma just said is a thing like, if you are not doing this, you are biased. You might be doing fantastic research, but you are still limiting yourself. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sharma, for that. And now, speaking of keeping research as one side and speaking of a personal time, because that is one thing which most of the researchers struggle with, that either they have to do experiments on weekends, or they have to give, time to the family, attending the functions, the relatives, the interactions. What was your experience in this regard?
When you say my experience, so I was like that only. But when I look back, there was a lack of, proper planning. If you, first of all, there is our SWOT analysis.
Yes.
Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So you must have your SWOT analysis done.
Absolutely.
Then you plan your day accordingly. And my boss used to say, put into the mouth what you can chew.
Nice.
And 9 to 5 is sufficient time to complete your work.
Okay. I think yeah, please.
Yeah. Exceptions are when your experiment is 12 hours long or 18 hours long. But it's not every day.
Yes. So nowadays, what a trend has been observed in researchers, that they really are working on the managerial, time management, that they know that they have limited number of hours like everyone else, because sometimes the people outside the research community, they feel that researchers are 24/7 researchers. They don't know, some of them, they don't even think that they are participating in curricular activities, in sports, and they are excelling in there also, which is changing in the present time. And I hope it goes better and better and better in the future. So what have been seen among the researchers of new generation, because if we talk about research done like 3 decades ago, 4 decades ago, as you were saying, like you were mentioning your PhD supervisor, Dr. Tia, that when he has done research, it was a different way. When you have done research, it's a different way. When now and the coming, the coming generations, the researchers who are doing masters or bachelors today and are passionate enough to land up in research, and when they see the journey of their peers, when they see the journey of their predecessors, they come up with the ideas. One person see that, oh, if I choose to be in research, I have to be in lab all the time. One sees like, no, they were good. They have done it their way. I have my own way. I'll do it the way I want. And I think this takes off so much of pressure among them, that they are not under pressure now. Now they know that, okay, on one day, I will be 9 to 5 in the lab. On some other day, I can be just visit. If it's a weekend and it requires essentially, then I can go there for an hour or so. Or I cannot go. I can take off for my professional development. As in one of our interviews, it came up that you should take professional time out to be more, fruitful in your professional career. And I was like, wow. So this is the researchers these days are developing the idea and they are living their life with that. So thank you very, very much, Dr. Sharma. We are almost at the edge of our conversation with this. It was enlightening for me, and I believe for the rest of the researchers around the world. Few last words for a passionate researcher who want to do research, you know, as a career for the lifetime.
Yeah. I would like to just say that it's your life. Life is not just your career.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to live it.
Mm-hmm.
And work is a part of it.
Absolutely.
So neither ignore it,
mm-hmm.
nor give its overdue, because your time will not come back.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is, if you really want to excel in your research,
mm-hmm.
you must be always in a happy mood.
Yeah.
Because if you're frustrated, results won't come, believe me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You may work round the clock,
mm-hmm.
but only the time will go.
Mm-hmm.
You won't get much. It's my experience.
Nice.
I have worked 16 hours a day
mm-hmm.
in lab for 2 years
mm-hmm.
with almost no result.
Okay.
But when I change my working style, so in less time you can achieve more.
Yes.
That's what I want to say. Another thing is, try to think something of applied research as well.
Nice.
Your research is very important, because that applied research is not possible at all.
Mm-hmm.
But as a pickle with the food,
nice.
Think of something applied as well. That's
right.
it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. And for update and Dr. Sharma's link, you can find Dr. Sharma. You can contact him directly, or you can contact researcher celebrities, and then we can put you in touch with Dr. Sharma, and you can know more about him also. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.